All right, welcome back to another P.E.N Talk. I'm Kevin Taylor. P.E.N Talk, professionals educating networkers. Like I said, I'm Kevin Taylor. I'm a personal trainer in the Hoover area. This is my co-host, Cherry.
Hi, I'm Cherry Howell with Providence Chiropractic here in Huntsville, Alabama.
And our two speakers today are Mitzi Akers with Mitzi Jane Media and Mr. Nick Ward with Nick the Marketer. I want to let all of our viewers know that these two individuals were actually nominated to be our speakers because they are experts in their field and they're fantastic people as well as great speakers. So Nick, if you will, go ahead and introduce yourself first and then Mitzi.
All right, my name is Nick Ward. First, thank you for having me on the call, especially if I get to hang out with Mitzi and Cherry and Kevin here. That's going to be awesome. I own a marketing company. We've been in business for a little over 2 years, and we are fully focused on digital marketing, and then all of the fun stuff that Mitzi gets to do, we don't do any of that.
Hi, I'm Mitzi Aker with Mitzi J Media, and my background is in publishing. So I like to help people define who they are and share their stories online through marketing content. So with Mitzi J Media.
We're glad to have y'all here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Nick. As the new client that gets started with you, how would you sum up how you serve your clients?
You know, client experience is probably one of, if not the most important thing that we try and accomplish at Nick the Marketer. My whole team is geared toward making sure that from start to finish, our clients understand exactly what they've purchased from us. We have a clear, defined goal for their marketing, and we are all on the same page moving in the right direction at the right time. So if I'm going to sum up how we serve our clients, we serve it by very clear and transparent expectations. What we found, Mitzi could probably back this up, is the average digital marketing in general across the country, I'm not speaking for Birmingham as a whole, but just across the country, it's smoke and mirrors. So if I just come out and do what I say I'm going to do, and you understand what we're doing, we've automatically moved the ball down the field.
All right, Mitzi, basically the same question. As a new client that gets started with you, how would you sum up how you serve your clients?
I serve my clients by helping them develop a digital marketing plan. That's one of the things I do with all my clients before we even get started, and they can take that plan. It helps them define who their target market is, who they really need to serve, how they need to communicate, and then help them develop a strategy to do that. And then they can take that plan and they can hire my team to do that, or they can hire somebody in-house to do that. I can help train their people to do that, or hire Nick, because Nick and I do different things. So it may be that I would refer somebody to Nick that would need more of the high-tech stuff, the advertising, and some of the stuff that Nick is an expert in. I may even refer them to Nick. So I really help them develop a plan to get started and kind of guide them where they need to go. And that's what I offer to my clients.
Great.
So Kevin and Cherry, if I were to make one comment on that, from a music background myself, she creates a beautiful guitar and creates the notes and all of that, and I simply plug it into that Marshall stack amp. That's what we do. We amplify whatever message she creates for the client.
Awesome. What great analogy. Thank you.
All right, Nick, I Googled your company. It filled up the entire first page of Google. How did you do that, and why is that important for my business? Okay,
so I believe depending on the type of business you have will depend on how important it is for you to fill up that first page of Google. Okay, so Mitzi is absolutely correct in that the way and the what behind the content that you create will be how relevant you show up in search engines. So depending on what you search, if you just search for Nick the Marketer, as crazy as it sounds, the name of the company was by design. I wanted you to know who I was and what we did, and you know that right out of the gate, right? So that's one of the reasons we show up, is the way we named our company. The other way is the way we've developed the content on our website. Google does what is called crawling. They send out all these little feelers all over the internet, and they crawl your website. So what we've done is we put very particular types of content all throughout our website, and then we've indexed it on what's called Google's Search Console. So when you index it on Google Search Console, then Google sends its feelers over to your website, and then it populates all of that content, and anybody can do it. You just have to have a little bit of technical understanding to be able to do that.
Great. Thank you.
Good deal. Mitzi. All right. So I looked on your website. I noticed that, you had spotlighted a podcast. So my question for you, how would you go about creating a podcast, and what are the biggest advantages to having a podcast from a business or a branding standpoint?
So having a podcast is a brilliant way to get, like Nick was saying, those fillers to see you on a different platform, but also it sets you up as the expert in your field, because you can create an audio, that podcast, and then you can use that podcast as part of your blog. So that way you're killing one bird or two birds with one stone. And plus, then you have content. So there's some brilliant ways how you can create a podcast and then use that to deliver messaging across the other platforms. And podcasts right now, people are busy. And so they take the time, they can listen to a podcast while they're cleaning in the car. And we know that podcasts, they're like the blog of today. But you still need the blog words on your website, because that's what SEO sees. But to make yourself the expert in a field, I definitely say you need to have a podcast right now. And it doesn't have to be high quality, but it does have to be great content. I would say you can have low quality and great content and people will listen. You can't have bad content and bad quality and people will listen. But if your content is great, you're going to get the ear of your target market, and they're going to listen, and they're going to really, really connect with you on a deeper level, because it's going right into their ear. You're closer to their brain, and so therefore you're closer to their decision making. So a podcast is a great thing to do right now before the market gets flooded. It was great to do it 5 years ago. It was great to do it a year ago, but right now the market is starting to get flooded. So if you're going to do it, you need to do a podcast now.
Very good.
All right, Nick, with social media becoming more untrustworthy, why is now the best time to advertise on social platforms?
There's so many platitudes to that. It's almost, where do you start? So my number one response, and I hear this all the time now, Nick, you're telling me to advertise on Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. I keep hearing about all these people pulling off the platform. And my first question is, did you pull off the platform? Have any of y'all pulled off the platform? Okay, so everybody's talking about pulling off the platform, but nobody's pulling off the platform. There's still over 1 billion users on Facebook and Instagram, and it is still the best way to interrupt what people are there for, whether it be politics, whether it be grandkids, whether it be pictures of their food. They're there for one thing, and if you do the right kind of targeting, you can interrupt. Now, why is it the best time, right? That's the real question, right? The untrustworthiness is one section of that, but the best time is a completely different part of that, right? So the reason it's the best time, we are about to go into a month of July where Facebook is about to lose $7 billion in revenue because of all of the people politically pulling off, right? So all of us have heard it on the news. So here's what's happening. Our cost per click is drastically being reduced. Our cost per conversion is drastically being reduced. So we're seeing with our clients right now, we're seeing a very high value and a high increase on their return on investment simply because it's cheaper to get it out there. Google, Facebook and Instagram and all these places, they need your money to survive. So that's the way and the reason why it's the most opportune time for you to put your business out there on social media.
Thank you.
Wow. All right. Mitzi, so right now we have a lot of businesses that are in the process of opening back up. How would you suggest a communication plan for reopening?
So that's a great question. I do have a full blog on my website that you can go, mitzyjmedia.com, and read my suggestions on opening up. The most important thing is constant communication, and you do need to have a place on your website that you are constantly updating and then using your social media to send people to that every time you change your communication plan. But every every month there's something new that needs to be communicated. So you really need to train your people to go to that one place on your website that you're going to be communicating your hours, your policies, and how things have changed. And just make sure you're constantly updating that on your social media and putting that on your cover. Make sure people understand and know what's expected before they call or they visit your business.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Nick, what do you think are the biggest negatives to social media in this day and age?
And we do have a time limit, okay?
I'm sorry, man, but you're just asking me all these great questions that I know I have to be very careful about because I care about all the audience listening. Social media has become the bathroom wall of the internet. Okay, and what I mean by that is literally people can say on any platitude they want. They can say whatever they want. They can share whatever information they want. And it doesn't matter if it's true. It doesn't matter if it's fake. It doesn't matter if it's filled of garbage. It doesn't matter. You can say. So if I were to answer that, that's the problem with it. If I'm answering what of our concerns about social media is just 10 years ago, it'd be like the way you talk behind the steering wheel of your car. You know that there's no repercussions on what you're going to say, right? So we're in the same space on social media, and it can be hard to break through that. I would argue that the way to break through that is just simply be authentic.
Okay. All right. So Mitzi, I'm going to actually ask you the same question. All right.
Okay.
I kind of want your perspective on it as well. It may be the same exact one, but what do you think are the biggest negatives to social media in this day and age?
I think people taking what you say out of context. If you like something, it doesn't matter what it is. You can go back and find something offensive that person has said in their past. You can't hold somebody accountable for liking a post in the present for something somebody said 5 or 10 years ago. That is ridiculous. And you have a lot of that. So you have to watch what you say. And I tell my clients, I'm like, don't say anything on social media that you would not want to defend the next morning on a talk show, a national talk show. So don't put it on social media unless you're going to put it on a talk show. So that is what I advise my clients. Whatever you put in it, and it's okay. You may be an ultra-conservative and you're putting ultra-conservative viewpoints out there. If that's your target market, go for it. But more than likely, somebody's going to slam you and try to take you down, and you've just got to be careful. And it's the same way on the other side. If you're ultra-liberal and you want to support an ultra-liberal group, people use it as ammunition. So just be careful out there because it is dangerous. It used to be fun and exciting. The good thing for digital marketing people is if you go in and you rise above and you put positive stuff out there, then you're going to rise above because people want the positive. People want to engage in something that educates, the positive. And right now, if you are showing that you care for your clients, you're providing safety for your clients, and you rise above all the politics and everything that's happening, your business is going to succeed. So try to stay out of the minutia and try to stay focused on what you can do. And that, I believe, as business owners, the best thing we can do right now in this climate is focus on our business and succeed so that we can have successful businesses to be able to help other people and employ other people.
Okay, Nick, how would advertising look different when comparing a larger company with 25 to 50 employees as compared to my company, which may have 1 to 5 employees?
So can I answer that question with a quick question? Are we talking about advertising digitally?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure because when it comes to radio, TV, and print, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
But when it comes to digital, I would tell you, surprisingly, this may come as a shock, you don't change anything. All right. So if you understand the goal and how social media works and advertising on those platforms, then you don't have to worry about the number of people that you're trying to direct traffic to. Okay. So the goal should always be, in my opinion, to entertain first, to educate about your company, your product, and your people, and then to execute with a call to action. All right, so entertain, educate, and execute. That's the formula for any business approaching social media, because they are not on social media to look at your business. They are there for their grandkids and all those different things, right? So if you don't earn their trust by entertaining them first, you'll never even get an opportunity to educate them, and then you can't ask them for anything. So follow that formula if you're just taking a basic, and that can apply to Procter and Gamble, and that can apply to John the plumber, Joe the plumber, whatever that guy's name is. He changes his name a lot. So that's it. And if you really want to add fuel to that fire, come up with an offer and add a sense of urgency to that offer, and then do a really good job of identifying who your target audience is. And I know Mitzi is great at identifying a target audience. I mean, we're pretty good at it, but she's pretty good at it too. So I could let her answer that even better.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So Mitzi, last question. If I told you that I wanted to retire in 10 years and sell my business, what steps would we take to make that happen?
So first of all, you've got to have a personal vision, you've got to have a business vision, and those are the things that help develop your goals and where you want to go. And then we take those and we put those into a digital marketing plan so that we actually give you something to shoot for, so you're not just throwing spaghetti on the wall with your marketing plan, but you are targeted and you're moving in the direction that you want to move in. So that's my suggestion.
Thank you.
That's good.
All right. So guys, that's all the time that we have right now. We appreciate Mitzi and Nick for being on. If anyone has questions and they'd like to get communicated with Mitzi or Nick, if you would, drop a comment and we'll get you in touch with them, okay? Mitzi, do you have anything to add?
Just that great point that I had earlier. Just watch what you say online. If you don't want to be on the national news the next morning, then just watch what you say online.
Just mute yourself, right?
Yes, just mute yourself.
All right. Nick?
Take action. Go do something. Literally put out some content on the internet and put some money behind it. Advertise.
All right. Good job. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mitzi.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.